All right, thanks so much for that. Back on the bench with Cabinet Secretary for Defense, Aden Duale, answering a lot of questions. In fact, there's one that's just come in. Let me just read this to you.
Yes.
Because this has been doing the rounds on social media, and in fact, it's gone viral. It says, President Ruto's daughter, June Ruto, has been appointed Director of Foreign Services and participant at the National Defense College. What does that mean?
Number one, the National Defense College is domiciled in the Ministry of Defense. It's led by a Lieutenant General as a commandant. It has three major generals, one representing the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy. I was there today, check my Twitter. The first cohort of the new students, cohort 27, for 24-25 year academic year, I gave them today a lecture of opportunity. June Ruto, the daughter of the president, a staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is one of the 67 students that have started their classes today. And she's among the 3 that were nominated by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to do the 1-year national security strategy that Foreign Affairs, Immigration, KRA, EACC, National Intelligence Service, DPP, Ministry of Health, among another 29 KDF officers at the rank of colonel joined. So we have 67 students today that joined this academic year. It's a 1-year program. June Moy is one of the students.
June Ruto.
June Ruto, sorry. Yeah. And this is part of the fake news and propaganda that people are peddling. Some of them, let me tell you, some of the people who are running the space outside the Gen Zs, our valuable, beautiful voices. There's another critical mass of people who are running, who are in the social media space, and they are not in the country. Miguna is one of them.
The man who was twice.
And you can't do a regime change through Twitter space.
You think the Gen Zs have been hijacked? The whole movement has been hijacked?
Oh yes, themselves are saying. They said we are tribeless, we are leaderless. I mean, is Boniface Mwangi Gen Z? Is Miguna Gen Z? Is Bobi Owino Gen Z? Is Sifuna Gen Z? Is Kalonzo Musyoka and Kioni and Wamalwa? Who do they represent? Gen Z said, you don't represent us.
Right.
And let me tell you one thing. I am so happy about the discussion in our country today, brought about by these vital, valuable voices of our young people.
Yeah, but they keep saying Ruto must go. Hashtag Ruto must go.
But they're the ones who are saying Ruto must go are the same people who are saying before the elections, Ruto will not become the president. Some of them are in the political class, in the previous regime, in the opposition, and they have not recovered from that. Ruto is now the president, and Ruto is changing the country. Well, how is he changing the country? Ruto works from 6 a.m. in the morning to midnight. He doesn't drink. Ruto...
Are you saying drinking is bad?
No, drinking is bad for leaders if you overdrink. You can't run the affairs of state. Even me, if I'm chewing mirror, I can't run the Ministry of Defense, my friend. Let me ask you, Jeff, and you have been around, you have been running this bench.
Yes.
2022, December, our country was in a very bad situation, economically, and even in terms of security. The food prices were very high. The fuel prices, and both of them were under subsidy program, were very high. We had the longest drought ever in the history of our country. The dollar was muzzling our Kenyan shilling. We had incidents of insecurity from Boni Forest to the north of IEDs. God was very kind to us. He gave us a very good rains the last 2 years. What did the President Ruto did? He removed the subsidies. He said we cannot subsidize consumption. Let's subsidize production. We took affordable fertilizer, affordable, cheap seeds to our farmers. Thanks to the Kenyan farmers, they worked very hard. From 260 price of unga, today is about 120. The price of fuel
is still high.
No,
still high.
Relatively high, but has come down significantly. Today, the shilling, look at our neighbors, look at the countries around us. Our currency is very strong. Inflation, 1 digit. Myself and the guys who are in the security sector, we managed to keep Al-Shabaab and all terror networks at bay. In the last 8 months, we have no incidents. We took the war to them in Somalia. So when you say William Ruto must go, William Ruto or any leader from the MCA to the president, our constitution has checks and balance. Today, if you're not happy with the Minister for Defense, there is a process documented in the constitution.
To remove him?
To remove him. Same for the president, same for the deputy president, same for the speaker, same for the chief justice.
Yeah, but maybe some of you should be removed.
Oh, yes. If there are grounds. If there are grounds to remove a cabinet secretary. And I think this has come out very clearly. What did the president do? The agencies raised critical concerns on the affairs of the state from a bloated government to unconstitutional offices. To
the opulence of his...
Yes, to opulence of some of the public servants, key public servants. To asking the president, what are you doing about corruption within government? I think last Sunday, I watched the president, like any other citizen. There's a time he said, watch this space. The president listened, respected, he listened to the agencies. His first action was to drop the finance bill. Second, under Article 132, he had to, at all times, as the chairman of the National Security Council and the commander-in-chief, he must maintain law and order. What did he do? He used the constitution and deployed KDF. And thirdly, he formed a multi-sectoral forum dealing with the 5 things. Public debt, very key. We must discuss it. And we must make it open.
And yet SRC yesterday, what did they do yesterday?
Let me come to SRC. Public debt, anti-corruption. How do we deal with corruption? Public wage bill. We'll come to it, SRC. We have a very bloated wage bill. You remember when the president addressed the SRC conference? Today, I'm so happy. First time in the history of Kenya, members of parliament are writing letters. We don't want increment.
Yeah, because of the pressure.
But you know, because of the agencies.
Yes.
But 14,000. They are the ones, by the way, this Gazette notice was because of the pressure of public servants. And you know, this Gazette notice, you guys in the media are very selective, let me say. This Gazette notice, it covers the judiciary, it covers the legislature, it covers the national government.
State officials.
Teachers,
state
doctors,
officials.
Everybody. But today, and I think this is the right time that we revisit the conversation the president started in Bomas during the SRC conference, that both levels of government, county and national government, the PFM Act says we cannot go above 35%. Both levels of government are somewhere at 60, 55%. We must bring it down and create more space, more resources for development.
Okay.
So he said public debt in a multi-sectoral, anti-corruption, public wage bill, public expenditure, the wages. There's too much wastage.
Too much.
So the president has done 3 things, and I think before Thursday, Friday, I don't want to speak for him, he will engage the young people in a Twitter space.
They don't want to engage him.
No, in a Twitter space, they said yes.
They're saying they're saying, you know, this opulence by his advisors, by the state officials is too much.
No, I think the president, in the long run, he will deal with the opulence, he will deal with those who have corruption. I don't want to speak for him. He said, watch this space. He has indicated that I think the CAS will not be there.
Yeah.
Maybe he would look at whether he can reduce the PSS from 51 to about...
And the CSS?
The CSS, he still has, the Constitution has given him minimum 14, maximum 22. He can make it 14, he can make it 15, he can make it 22. But let me tell you, Jeff, Ruto must go slogan. It's not a Gen Z slogan.
It's the slogan. They've been using this throughout.
You know, I want you to be fair. It's Kalonzo Musyoka. It is, it is Kioni. It is Miguna. It is the traditional cabal, a group of people who are not Gen Zs, who have not recovered and who cannot wait for 2027. And they even feel, because Baba is going to AU, they have no chance in 2027. And in their wildest dream, they feel there is a shortcut to change William Ruto. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 does not envisage that, my friend. You cannot change, you cannot even tell an MCA he must go. Yes. Those are words, but it's coming from who? From those who should occupy their places in the opposition, traditional people who never liked, who never voted for William Ruto. And we respected it. We respected their views. I mean, William Ruto today is the president of the Republic of Kenya. And he, as I enumerated to you, his scorecards are there. But I think one thing I want to send a message tonight. We have a very beautiful country. We are one of the most celebrated democracies in our region and in Africa. We should be cognizant of our country. We should not allow, by hiring criminals, gangs, we should not take our country to slide into chaos.
Is that one of your fears?
No. Of course. But I want to assure you, the fears is there. Sudan is a good example. 1 year ago, Sudan was one of the most stable countries in Africa. Today, I'm sure you have seen the social media.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. But to the people of Kenya, those of us who have been given the privilege to serve in the national security sector, both internal and external, we will not abdicate our responsibility to protect the citizens, their property, and we will not allow even gangs to come and kill people.
Speaking of which, protecting and stuff, KDF, the rules of engagement, what are they? Because, you know, there's fears from a lot of Gen Zs, a lot of people in the streets, that there are snipers out there. There's snipers positioned in certain buildings, and they're taking out people.
Who are these snipers?
We don't know.
In fact, we are the ones who are more worried about the snipers. One of the incidents that happened yesterday, and I'm sure the Criminal Investigation Department, the National Intelligence Service, the National Police Service, all of them are investigating, where somebody shot a police officer from one of the buildings. And that's why I was telling you earlier that those of us who are from KDF and the National Intelligence Service, we are very worried that outside these criminal gangs, international terrorists can invade this
and take advantage.
And cause. But I want to assure you that we are on top of everything. We will make sure that our young, valuable protesters, Gen Z, will protest peacefully. The police will protect them. Look at last Sunday. A police vehicle in front, a police vehicle behind. They were taken to Kenyatta Hospital. They chose 10 people. They went and saw the injured colleagues. They came out. They came to Jivanji. They lit, and they dispersed. That is Gen Z. But what happened yesterday? Yeah. And that's why you see me and you in Nairobi downtown, in Luthuli Avenue, in Tom Mboya Street, in Wabera Street, in Isli, in Rongai, in Kitengela. We will not allow, the citizens will not allow, and the government will not allow criminal gangs hired by politicians, some who lost elections, some who are now, and please wait this peace, wait for this peace. I am sure the internal section led by Professor Kindiki, the National Intelligence Service, the DCI, the IG are compiling a list. But when they release, let us not say, oh, you are targeting the opposition, oh, you are targeting this tribe. We will tell the people of Kenya.
Do you have a list?
One of the media houses said that the internal security system in our country have already profiled individuals.
Certain politicians.
Certain politicians.
And a businessman.
And a businessman. Certain NGOs.
Do you know who they are?
You know, that is what we call the oath of office we took as members of the National Security Council.
What does that mean? You're not going to tell us?
We will tell you.
When?
When we finish the investigation.
Which is when? This year?
No. In a couple of 10 days, 2 weeks. They will be arranged in court.
You'll toboa the names.
My friend, we will not allow the destruction that took place, the death that took place yesterday, loss of property, that the perpetrators, the financiers,
and you have proof.
The planners.
You have proof.
Watch this space.
That's what your boss said. People keep saying, what is this space?
You know,
what is this space?
You know, Jeff, and one day maybe you might be part of the people who are in the security sector. We don't run things like this. It takes time. A file must be prepared so that when they go to court, the DPP has a very solid case. But I can tell you the leads are there.
Okay, you still haven't explained.
You want to tell me?
Yeah.
You want to tell me? And yesterday, thank you for showing what happened in Kisii.
And Migori.
No, Migori. In fact, there was not much. What happened in Kisii, in Mombasa, and in Nairobi, and its outcast? You think that was spontaneous? Those were planned.
What about that gentleman shooting at the protesters? Was that justified?
No, I think that's why he was booked in. He was protecting himself. If you watch that clip, they wanted to stone him to death. He protected himself. But
is it correct, though?
No. Everybody, every civilian who has a firearm, just like the way you're asking me what are the rules of engagement of KDF, civilian arms holders, before they are given the certificate, they are given the rules of engagement. And that is something the DCI, the custodian of the criminal justice system, will deal with. Okay,
rules of engagement. KDF, do they fire on sight? I mean, what's the deal when they hit the streets?
The court told us to gazette the rules of engagement. Ours is to protect critical infrastructure, including royal media.
We are critical.
We are critical. You are a very serious media house. And I'm not very far from you.
I know.
Yeah, you know, somebody
DOD is around the corner.
No, you know why we protect you. A hooligan can come here and say the government has been overthrown. That's how critical you are. Not only you, but all media houses. Because it's a medium to the country. That's why I'm sure here you have got security.
Yes.
KBC. Two, we said we will cover the 47 counties. In the event we are called as a last resort, we will not come. The National Police Service, even within the reading of the law, the command is still with the Inspector General of Police and his team. So if we are called, like we were called in on Tuesday last week, when we are called in, we will come and protect critical infrastructure of the three arms of government and county governments and private entity.
What do you mean by protect? Shoot on sight?
No.
What do they do?
We came to Parliament. We removed all the protesters who were there.
How?
No. By the way, you have seen last Tuesday and Thursday, when we appear somewhere, people stop the nonsense they're doing.
People run.
People run and they say, even, you know, the agencies and everybody was saying, agencies, they have an app. We were listening to. And they were saying, goons have come, KDF is back on the streets, let's leave. Then finally, we will leave tomorrow. If tomorrow and the day after normalcy comes back, I will send another gazette notice. You will air it.
Saying you're back to the barracks.
Yes. That's why I told you, nobody has deployed KDF. The Constitution of Kenya 2010, in Article 241, 3B and 3C, calls in Kenya the deployment of KDF when those two articles calls in.
Yeah.
And then the president, as a commander-in-chief, and in exercise of Article 132 of the Constitution. And I want people to read Article 132. The president is supposed to protect other arms of government and their critical infrastructure. He is supposed to protect human rights, the rule of law, make sure there's peace in the country.
Yeah, but there's 39 lives lost in all of that so far.
From my colleagues in the interior, they are saying 25.
No. Let
me give you a good example. You know, when the president was asked, there were two incidents. There was a young 12-year-old in Rongai.
12 bullets?
Yes.
12 bullets?
Yes. I mean, my condolences to him and to his father. Not 12 bullets, it was only one bullet. One bullet. Then the gentleman, the other young guy in Madare, has not died. He was shot, but he's still in hospital. You know, if you can please help us find the person who was shot 12 times, we will be, because we checked all the post-mortem.
But even the president, remember we was asked that question on Sunday?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There were 8 bullets.
Yeah, they said 8 bullets. Even the 8 bullets. The young guy in Rongai, the post-mortem, even yesterday you aired in your news, was 1 bullet. You know...
In Rongai?
Yes, I think the one in Rongai. The one in Madare is still alive, to my collection. But let me tell you one thing. All the life lost, whether it is 39, whether it is 25, whether it is 1, it's very unfortunate.
It's one too many.
It's one too many, and it should not happen. And my condolences. I mean, nobody, even the police, there is the rules that are given of engagement to when to exercise firing live bullets.
But tell me something. Since you deployed KDF on that day, does that mean the police failed?
No.
It must be.
No.
If you're deploying KDF, the police have failed.
It says, the Constitution says, where the police are overwhelmed.
Aha.
So they didn't fail.
Oh, they were overwhelmed.
The word is they were overwhelmed.
Oh, so it's English now.
It's not English. It's the Constitution. Which is written in English. Which is derived from the English law.
Yeah.
You're very right.
Buenos dias, I'm going to take a break, come back, we talk some more. I've got some business news to do, and then we'll come back and talk a little more. Wow. CS Aden Duale, he's coming out, guns blazing. This is the kind of conversation we need to have. Gen Zs, are you listening? What are your thoughts?
Our vital voices. I call them...
You like them, huh?
I like them. They're called the vital voices, beautiful voices. Today, members of parliament, I have been in parliament for many years. They used to push me for increment of salary.
Yeah.
I am seeing members of parliament say, we don't want salary. We don't want salary.
What a guy.
Sifuna did not talk about his fuel card.
Yes.
What is he talking about today?
The 300,000 shillings on his fuel card.
Last week it was 500,000. He didn't talk. It's the Gen Zs who made him talk.